Me so horny. Me so horny. Hello and welcome to Unrelenting. I'm Darren O'Neill. He is the gene of living. I can tell you, the Canadians wanted to take their sport back. They didn't. I mean, they won in the little, like, what is this all about? My brain hurts that the NHL in the middle of the season, I mean, getting towards the end of the season, decided that they were going to play a 4-nation exhibition game with Canada, the United States, Finland, and somebody else. Mm-hmm. And Canada won. It was an interesting game. It was a very well-played game. The participants on both sides performed admirably. It was the first hockey I've watched in about a year or so.
It was the first hockey worth watching for a while.
That is probably also true. That, I mean, especially here in Chicago. I mean, if you've got a favorite team, the Blackhawks haven't really been lighting the world on fire. So I was intrigued. I showed up for the national anthem because I wanted to see if there was going to be booing. And there was a little, although I'm not sure if they, we know the technology is there to edit it out, but I haven't seen anybody that was at the game post a TikTok.
That's a good point. I hadn't thought of that.
You know, because I was wondering, I was especially a Boston crowd, was expecting a lot more boos. So this is what I've noticed. This was on ESPN, but I noticed this with Fox watching baseball games like a decade ago when they did the game of the week. And so you'd be watching, usually I'd only watch those if it was the White Sox at the time. And when the other team would get a home run or a hit, big hit, you'd hear a lot of cheering. And it's like, wait a minute. They were piping it in. It was all fake. So I wanted to know.
Yeah.
I wanted to know if anybody
I think
was
the boos were pretty real.
For
hockey.
Yeah. Well, hockey fans like to boo. One of the most.
Well, these days, I mean, it's funny because they feel like their country is soon to be a state. And for some reason, they're against that.
Well, I think it's humorous when outgoing Prime Minister Justin Trudeau makes the post on social media. And I understand Trump posts a lot of bloviating things. But he posted you can't take our sport. And I'm thinking, we have taken your sport for decades. The NHL is the sport. It's the epitome of hockey, and it's based in the United States. There's 2 Canadian teams, and they're barely.
I
mean, Toronto, you could walk over the border. Then you have Edmonton, but we have taken your sport. The United States has the hockey league that the world looks to, that all of the top players go to, is the United States NHL. There's no hockey league in Canada that's like, oh, we are the best of the best. No, they all come here. We have taken your sport, little Justin. A long time ago. So I just thought that was kind of funny. Like, what do you mean, you dumbass? But
yeah, I don't know what they mean by our sport, though.
Well, they mean it's like the official. Sport? I think hockey is to Canada what baseball is to America. Although
hockey is just ice polo. It's been around forever.
Without the horses.
No, not the kind with horses, the kind without horses.
Although now I want to see hockey with horses.
Yeah, no, you don't. Believe me. There'll be blood spilled like you've never seen before. You'll have Mayan gods just surfacing on top of the ice rink going, what's going on here?
Like, who thought this was a good idea?
Yeah.
The Kentucky Derby on ice. No.
God.
But I remember going, and I think we have talked about that before here, going to Blackhawk games back when I was a kid. And the crowd would love to boo. They were rowdy, especially when your team would come in, your Minnesota team would come in.
Well, now, back then, that would have been the North Stars.
Yes. The Minnesota
Not
North
the current
Stars.
Minnesota team.
No. No, what's it, the Wild or something now?
Yeah.
It's like that was a very weird thing, too. It's like when the North Stars moved to Dallas, and then all of a sudden another team popped up in Minnesota. It's like, why did you move? It was very strange. But when
That's why I moved to Dallas.
You're like, I got to follow my team.
Yeah, pretty much.
Got to get my hockey fix. You're like, but is there ice in Texas? And then you learn there is actually.
I lived a mile away from the Stars Arena.
Oh, so you definitely were a season ticket holder. You were showing up, having fun. I remember the minute the first person came out of the locker room from the Minnesota North Stars, the Dino sucks chant began. Loved Dino Ciccarelli, man. I'm sure he was a really nice guy, but the minute the North Stars hit the ice, Dino sucks. Dino sucks. I mean, it was so much fun.
Yeah, it was, well, ice hockey back in the 80s it was the start of the MMA.
It was brutal. It was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was basically a game about guys beating the crap out of each other on the ice with some pucks going back and forth occasionally.
And they like each other overall, which is also the fun part about it.
Well, let's put it this way. They certainly dislike non-hockey players.
Well, yeah. But I love the videos where the guys are mic'd up. And a lot of people don't understand you can't just start a one-sided hockey fight. That is not the way it goes. It's not like one guy can just start beating the crap out of the other one. No. They both have to drop their gloves. There is a rule for how the fight must begin. And a lot of times when they're mic'd up, they're just so polite, like, hey, you want to go? All right. Good luck to you. How's your family? And then they start punches are flying around.
Well, now you're definitely talking about Canadians.
Yeah, yes, very polite before they start the ass kicking. Yeah, would you like me to beat you? Would you like me to kick your ass, eh? Sure.
Hey.
All right, eh? See what you got, eh? And then they're done. And then they're both in the penalty box talking to each other like, hey, I got to work on. The one guy was great. It was like, I got to work on my cardio.
To be fair, about half the Minnesota team was Canadian.
Well, yeah.
Like literally.
I mean, this is it. I mean, this is why when you're playing USA versus Canada, it's like you're seeing a lot of the same people that, they're in the NHL. That's where they exist.
Yeah. There's a reason for it because, naturally, when you're a kid, even whether you want to or not, when there's ice on the ground for 9 months a year, like Canada, what else are you going to play?
Hockey. It's there. It's easy.
Yeah. Now, the funny thing is that I've got a buddy from Minnesota, although, well, sort of from Minnesota. His dad's from Minnesota. He was born in California and he lives in California, but he sends his kid, both of his boys, in fact, to play hockey. They're on a hockey team out in California. And I always give him shit about like, what's the electric bill in California for cooling down an ice skating rink?
Yeah.
It's got to be like in the millions, not just hundreds of thousands.
Well, that's why I think it's funny that professional hockey exists there are more teams in Arizona and Texas than there are in all of Canada. So don't tell me, Justin.
I've been to a couple of rinks here. It's I think, but honestly, I think it's mostly just transplants.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's people that kind of grew up with hockey and want hockey. Now, I haven't had a pair of skates on and been on ice now for a few decades, let's just say.
Since the recumbent bike years?
Way before the recumbent bike years.
Maybe you can put skates on the recumbent bike blades.
They have that. They have that, yeah.
Then you could look like Santa Claus once the beard goes fully white. Could just be a sleigh.
I'm not that far away.
Sleigh.
I've got a few years and I will literally be a Santa Claus.
A mall Santa.
I've been looking forward to that as my retirement job.
It'd be the greatest mall Santa ever.
Oh, I've got the personality for it.
You just want people to be grabbing your beard. They'd be pulling out.
I love the kids.
Well,
I
And the women.
I'm yeah, why don't you have your mom come over here and sit on Santa's lap with you?
His Granny Spry. Come on, Sonny boy.
I met a Santa years ago at a gun range.
Which is where you would normally meet them.
Well, that's where Santas hang out during the year, apparently, when it's not Santa season.
Santa got to be packing, man. He got a lot of presents.
Santa's always packing, believe me. Why do you think he's so cheerful and smiling?
And
so I met this guy, and he just looked like Santa Claus. And I said, what do you do for a living, sir? And he says, well, little boy, I deliver presents. I said, really? That's a hell of a job. So he gave me the lowdown on Santa. And now this is would have been back in the 90s, late 90s. He was making about $500 a night for coming to a party as Santa Claus.
That's not bad. How many babes was he living with?
That's easily over $1,000. Probably like $1,200 for being Santa at a party.
But yeah, you're going to get a tip. You're going to find the Lauren Graham type from
well, you're mostly going to be drinking booze, I think. That's kind of the deal.
Drunk Santa. Well, that's how you get Billy Bob Thornton as Santa Claus.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. So I've ever since that moment, like 30 years ago, I've been thinking to myself, I'd make a pretty good Santa. And the natural Santas, the ones without the fake beards and whatnot, definitely get a better money than the fake kind.
Well, I would hope so. You're adding a lot of authenticity to the role. And you can't be a skinny Santa either. So Gene finally has a reason, like, hey, this is for my work. I take it very seriously.
I mean, all Santas are big bones, so what do you do?
Yeah, I mean, diabetes can make you money. Finally.
I believe me, Santa has diabetes. There's no two ways around that.
Okay.
That's a great line, by the way. Santa has diabetes.
Yeah, and the minute you said it, I'm thinking Christmas song. Brand new classic.
Leaving out the cookies for Santa, making his blood sugar rise.
Yeah, you've got the AI
right there.
Santa's got
AI can crank that out right now. Yeah,
we can make $1 million. You got to split that with me. We're going to make $1 million come holiday season. Santa got diabetes.
Diabetes.
Thanks, kids.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Rudolph's got the it was not an EpiPen with the diabetics. There's the similar thing though, like kind of if you go into
there's insulin pens. Yeah,
there you go. So Rudolph's got the insulin pen. I mean, the song kind of writes itself. It's not just because it's like 20 degrees and has been lower than that for the last week that we're thinking of Santa Claus either, is it?
It is. It was 20 degrees here yesterday.
Nice.
No, not at all.
Are you in Moscow now, or are you back in Austin?
I mean, in Austin, it was 20 degrees is what I mean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not the motherland.
Cold weather. No, flights are still restricted.
Santa got diabetes. Sir, a Scandinavian said a lot of hockey players get their American citizenship to save on taxes because the tax rate is so horrible in Canada.
It makes sense.
They're like, we want to play.
American taxes are not anything to really write home about either.
Well, come on, Doge, baby. They're going to send everybody $5,000.
Yeah, whatever that is.
And then I love that there are Democrats, including the woman out of Texas, Jasmine Crockett, who was asked about, do you think that's a good idea? Giving people $5,000. And she went on a rant of how the government isn't there to give out handouts. And I'm like, honey, you're a Democrat. What are you talking about? This is the genius of Trump. He's got the Democrats saying the government isn't there to give handouts.
It's genius.
Genius? I like that. Yeah.
It's hilarious too. I mean, really, the Democrats will say virtually anything. They don't think before talking, as long as it opposes whatever Trump said.
Correct.
He could say, I don't know, pick something that's historically a Democrat position, like
Trump would say all black people are fine folks.
Yeah, exactly. And Democrats, much to their historical truth, would say, black folks, well, you can't trust them to pick cotton.
Uh-huh. Remember when Joe Biden said of Barack Obama that he was a clean?
Yeah, he's kind of a clean boy.
What are you talking about?
He's almost like a house type, not a field type.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
And those things the mainstream media just ignores. They let it go. But Donald Trump, they work so hard to take things out of context.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're getting good at it.
Absolutely.
Clip it out of context. Yeah, and you know you got it on CNN. But it's amazing that they've never, with any of the things Trump has done, and he's only been in office for 2 days, I think it is today.
It's just over a month, yeah.
Never once did they say something he did was good for the country. Not one of the things Donald Trump has done, according to MSNBC or CNN, and I'm sure the papers of records like the WAPO and the New York Times, although the WAPO may be coming around now that Bezos was like, oh, Trump, we like you.
Well, Bezos is in a weird spot. I think he realizes that Elon Musk just beat him on every count possible. He beat him to being on a position of power. He beat him on rockets. He beat him on for pretty much everything there is.
He's got a lot more baby mamas too.
He's got way more of those, yeah. Although Bezos is working on the second. He's
up,
probably
right?
eyeing his third now.
Probably. He's like, oh, this is a competition.
Yeah, but Bezos is also, he gave a lot of money up when he got divorced the first time. Musk didn't.
So you're saying Musk had a better prenup?
He had a way better prenup, yeah.
Very smart.
In fact, I don't think Bezos had a prenup because they were married before Amazon.
And Musk just seems to be having so much fun. The president of Argentina yesterday, well, he's having sex too.
Oh, yeah.
The president of Argentina gave him a very nice chainsaw.
Nice.
And the people on the left are just freaking out about it.
Afuera.
Because I guess the meme Elon, with the dark sunglasses and gold chains, he promised to dress up like that for CPAC if Trump won. And of course he did. So Musk did. And then he was given the chainsaw. So there's some great photos of Elon in the pimp daddy chains and sunglasses and holding up the chainsaw, which is just it's not your right out of the box chainsaw. It was like beautiful and shiny. It looks like it's ready to cut waste.
I gotta look at those photos. I didn't see that. I did watch the interview with Hannity where Trump basically talked about how good Musk is for an hour.
Well, yeah, the left is like, this is a Donald Trump cucked by Elon Musk. Yeah, I don't.
The real president of the United States.
Right, because...
A South African. Well, you ought to be happy about that. We got another African president.
Right, you wanted more diversity. There you go.
Yeah.
More diversity is good.
I think we're going to know if Elon's actually running the country if U.S. sends troops to South Africa. That will be the determining factor.
Well, the situation there has been, you think it's crazy in Ukraine. It's been crazy in South Africa for a while now.
It's not crazy in Ukraine. Ukraine is just everybody who has any brain cells that are active right now at all knows that Ukraine is just the current military testing facility.
It's being
all we're doing is testing different weapons
by a dictator who refuses to have elections. Donald Trump points that out too, and that drove the left nuts.
He did point that out, and I said checkmate as a reply to that. All you Ukrainian flag posting little pussies on X, where'd you all go?
And I remember we had the story when it happened. I don't remember the details, but Elon. There's a Freudian slip.
President Elon.
Zelenskyy shut down wasn't there an opposition party and some opposition media that was
he shut down everything. He shut down Christianity because it was opposed to war.
Well, religion is dangerous.
So he closed churches down.
Yeah, very dangerous. Those anti-war, pro-God people.
And then, officially they now say they lost half the money that was allegedly sent to them. So about $150 billion of U.S. taxpayer money.
I mean, that was a beautiful meme that Zelenskyy wants $20 billion to find the $100 billion that is lost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How about no?
And it is billions, because that's the other thing that's driving me nuts with Bill O'Reilly. He keeps talking about millions sent to Ukraine, and it's like, dude, it's billions. I know it sounds crazy to anybody that's paying attention.
Yeah.
But billions of dollars, and you wonder... The people in the United States funding this are going, why are we funding this?
It's about $1,000 per person in the United States that was sent to Ukraine.
And the people here are like, why are we funding this? We do not want to fund this. And there's, according to...
Well, now they are. They weren't that earlier.
According to Big Bill O'Reilly, who, whether DigiGuru likes him or not, he is friends with Donald Trump. He has a direct connection. He knows things other people don't.
Everybody says that.
But he
literally every reporter says that.
But he can prove it. He's got the receipts.
I don't know.
He said that Putin has already agreed to a major concession, which is to allow Ukraine to join the EU, but not NATO. And,
that's not going to happen.
Well, not the NATO thing or the EU thing.
No, the EU's not going to happen.
They said it is. It's going to happen.
Well,
so
he's
this
wrong.
is we're going out on the book right here. It's Bill O'Reilly versus Gene Neftulev. Let's put a marker.
Yeah, O'Reilly does no dick. He hasn't known dick for a long time.
We'll take in Ukraine, and Putin is okay with that. That is allegedly part of the deal that is in the works that will be coming to... Well, I don't know if the mainstream media will ever report on it. If it happens even, they wouldn't report on it.
That would never happen anyway, because the Ukrainian territory is owned by the U.S. corporations right now. Part of the deal that we got was mineral rights, not the EU, but U.S. So American companies own that ground. They own whatever they want to extract out of there. So Europe has nothing to do with this.
Well, the EU deal will probably come in once the mineral rights have been scraped clean, and they're like, okay, here you go. Here's the carcass.
Well, yeah, in 20 years, maybe.
Yeah, here's the carcass of Ukraine. Well, none of this stuff moves fast. It's not like, well, you can join the EU. It's not like usually it's not magically somebody snapping their fingers and going, well, you're now in the EU. There's a process. And this process will just happen to be long enough for us to take every last little mineral we can find out of Ukraine for 2 decades. It's a lot of fun. You got to remember that there's a lot of promises that were tied to the money coming in. Now, the EU, on the other hand, they only had one promise tied to money that they sent over, which is repayment. The U.S. did not provide loans. The U.S. provided actual funding. Yeah, they wanted to help.
Europe provided loans,
which was smart.
And therefore, U.S. bought Ukraine, and Europe gave a loan to a country that doesn't really exist.
Okay, now, assuming that the U.S. does have the mineral rights overall, who got the better deal there?
Well, the better deal would have been from every country that didn't put any money into this. Those countries got a better deal.
The one that were like, we're not going to be involved.
Yeah, pretty much.
But Zelenskyy is such a nice comedian. He is a great leader of a country.
Yeah.
It's like putting Steve Martin in charge.
No. He's not a Steve Martin quality comedian.
You're right. And Steve Martin would probably be a way better dictator.
Probably would. Yeah. No, I think he'd be more like, let's think of a comedian who's done zany, probably more like a Will Ferrell type.
That's even better. That's funny. You know, the kind of like a Michael Scott character in the office. That's kind of Zelenskyy. I mean, they should kind of do a spoof of of like The Office, but have it.
Michael Scott could probably play Zelenskyy. He's got a big honking nose as well.
There you go. It'd be good. I'd watch that show. It'd be great. Well,
Steve Carell.
Yes.
Has a nose, not Michael Scott.
Well, we understood what you meant.
Yeah, it's if it wasn't tragic for the number of men who died, it would be funny.
That says Zelenskyy is more like a cross-dressing cocaine gay comedian, so more like Andy Dick.
Wow. Well, okay. I see where he's going with that, but Zelenskyy did have way more fame and notoriety pre any of this stuff, pre-politics as a comedian than Andy Dick ever did.
Oh, well, he was on that news radio show. That was his big break with Joe Rogan. Which one came out this other side in better shape?
Well, which one did cocaine the entire time they were there?
Oh, probably Andy Dick.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Rogan did. I mean, he may have done some, but at some point, Rogan.
No, if he would have done some, he would have still been doing it.
Yeah. This is the great political content that people come to this show for, and they never know when they're going to get it because sometimes you don't get any at all.
Yeah.
We break down the world in the way that only we can.
Yeah. I mean, we're a real podcast because we're not a clip show.
We are a real podcast. We have full anal action, according to John C. Dvorak, who for some reason always calls analysis on his clips for No Agenda anal. A-N-A-L. Yeah.
Really?
So
okay.
That's been the thing over the last bunch of shows. They're labeled that Adam gets annoyed because all these clips say anal and they're short for analysis, but it's like, there you go. We are all anal on this show, really is kind of.
So he means anal, not anal.
Right. Well, I mean, it's good for comic abuse to read that.
If you're Andy Dick, maybe.
If you're shortening analysis on your clips to ANAL, I mean, you could come up
with... What
with...
else would you shorten it to?
I guess just ANA or ANL. You could probably come up with something besides...
Look for all the clips that say fisting on them. Well, what are those? That's analysis clips.
That's for totally for a different show, though.
Oh, okay.
That's for No Agenda After Dark for... The ultra
the paid version, the paywall version,
the one they swear doesn't exist. There's nothing
right.
No
except
agenda.
for on that one site.
Yes, After Dark, where you get to hear the hosts of No Agenda unplugged and unhinged.
Yeah, so I canceled my subscription to Tim Pool After Dark.
No way! You're no longer giving Tim Pool Russian money.
I know, right? So now he can legally say no more Russian money received.
Is he now? When you cancel things like that, I'm always intrigued by the process that then follows, because there are some companies that will just never contact you ever again.
Yeah, that's them. That's pretty much them.
They're not one of these like, oh no, we're sorry to see you go. Oh no, come back.
They're not that sophisticated.
I laugh every time I see it, which is why I don't care that I can't probably scrub and get rid of the emails. When I bought one of my, probably the first pistol that I bought, my Sig Sauer, it came with a year of the NRA membership. And ever since that expired, like every day. Okay.
Maybe, you get a message. Yeah.
Or maybe it's every couple of days, but it is very consistent. Yeah. And they always say, this is your last chance. This is your last chance. I probably have 8 million emails telling me it's my last chance. Like, do you know that doesn't work?
It works.
Because it's not really my last chance.
But it works.
I'll have another last chance tomorrow. You're right.
Otherwise, they wouldn't do it.
You're right. It's got to be something that is still...
It costs them money. Remember that.
To send out... Well, yeah. Emails are not free at that quantity.
No, they're not. No, and it's not just the NRA. It's all gun groups, because I've joined all of them at one point or another.
You've started a few. I've joined them all.
And I still run the NRA group on LinkedIn.
You're still the NRA white tracksuit subgroup. That is for people that go to the gun range in the white Adidas tracksuits. They're hard to keep clean with all that gunpowder.
There may be people that do that.
Yes, of course.
But that's, what's wrong with that? That's how it works. There was a photo. Where did I see this? It was something. Oh, somebody did a AI photo of Putin sitting, squatting in a white tracksuit. And I was like, damn, I'm going to make this my my background screen on my computer.
Dude, like, this is such a good photograph.
It is a good AI, man, for sure.
It is Vladdy doing the thing that all Russian guys do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, most of them,
the Gopnik guys, yeah.
To be fair, most don't go the full Monty that you did, which was then to buy multiple guns that matched the white tracksuit.
Oh, yeah. I mean, some people would kind of call that a little gay, but
we'll see.
I think it's actually...
The little gay thing is added to by you saying, well, I don't fire those guns. They're just for show.
Right. I know. Well, it's a pain in the ass to clean white guns. So the white guns are just accessories, really. But I do have quite a few of them now.
They look like stormtrooper weapons.
They do. They really kind of do. Like if you're more into the nerdy, geeky side, then they definitely look like stormtrooper weapons. And they're hard to find. A lot of companies will only put out like one run of them ever and then not make any more.
You mean because nobody buys them except gay Russian men?
I don't know, man. I think the gay Russian men buy the pink ones.
Oh, sorry. With the little fur, like ZZ Top, the guitars. That's how they.
There you go. Yeah.
But then they want
white, I think there's a small group of people that buy white guns. That's for sure.
And you are in that group, so what do you call yourselves?
I think it's the there was an acronym for it for the group. The communist spelled with a K, collector spelled with a K. I can't remember the last letter.
That says there are seafoam blue guns as well. Is that true?
There's a few color variants, but
I mean, I guess anybody can make anything, but is that like a normal release?
Well, I'm not counting the 3D printed shit that people do,
right?
Because you literally can make any color if you want, if you print your own gun. But
or you can take any gun you want and dip it, like in the electrocoating stuff that my buddy sells. I mean, you can dip it in anything and make any color.
And plastic dips weld, is it?
It is a, well, they have special thing. I have no idea how it works because I understand what electroplating is. But they have this stuff and I have no idea how it works, but it can adhere to plastic and other materials. I have no idea how it works. It's like mythical, magical stuff. Do white guns show more gunshot residues? Asks Omega Project. Probably.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You got to clean that thing. You got to really just wipe it and just you got put a lot of wrist action into keeping that thing clean and shiny.
Jesus Christ.
This whole show. CBrooklyn did send us a boost between the last show and this one. He wanted to know if you were watching the new season of Mythic Quest. Is that?
I didn't know it was on. I will. I'll tell you this. I loved the first season.
Was this the show about the fake video game?
Yeah.
Show about the fake video game. First season was awesome.
First season was great. You watched it too?
The third,
yeah. Second season was pretty crap. It's like they phoned it in. They just didn't do much on there. But the first season was very good. So if they have a third season out now, I guess I'll definitely watch that, see if it improved at all.
Yeah, because you're right. The first season was good. It was an Apple TV product, right? I think it was Apple TV.
I don't recall.
Because that was one of the things we watched with the when we got our free year or whatever it was of Apple TV.
I'm now stuck paying for the stupid Apple thing because they just started the new season of Severance, yeah, which I enjoy. Yeah.
You know, there are torrent sites allegedly. Apple did give me 90 days of free Apple Music, but I haven't even tried it yet. So I guess I should do that before it runs out.
Yeah.
See if there's anything good there. But if there is a new Mythic Quest, I mean, didn't the old guy die that was in there?
Yeah. The guy that played Salieri.
Yes.
What's his name? I forget his name.
But I thought that was a pretty good.
They actually killed him on the show. So that was a good part of season 2 is they actually wrote in his death for real.
Because he can't come back.
I guess not. Maybe for now. Probably will eventually. As AI generated thing. Yeah.
I thought they did a really good job of capturing that whole milieu of the people that were just being paid to sit in a room and play video games, more or less. trying to come up with the new ideas.
Yeah.
How do we make this game better?
Actually, there was maybe I'm too harsh on season 2, because the other thing that I thought was funny in there was the episode they did, which I think was in season 2, not season 1, that went back to the 1970s.
Oh yeah, that was very well done, and I hate
that.
flashbacks.
That was the best episode of all the episodes in both seasons, as far as I'm concerned, because it was so different. And it was about these aspiring science fiction writers in the 60s or 70s or whatever it was, old-timey times, and probably the 60s, and how they were all like, serious writers and trying to create the best next science fiction or fantasy or whatever it was. But it was, definitely sci-fi or fantasy genre. And then they started being exposed to the realities of the publishing industry, which of course doesn't give a shit about quality of work whatsoever.
No, in season 4, I just looked it up, began in January. So there are 4 seasons. I don't know.
Wait, was there 3? Somehow I'm merging then season 2 and 3 together, because I'm pretty sure I was caught up. But
yeah, season 3.
Is it Apple? Is that what it's on? I'll have to check it out later tonight. Okay.
And season 3 ended on January 6, 2023.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
it's like 5 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so long ago. I mean, it was 2022 for most of it. So, I mean, it does kind of feel like that. Although now I'm not sure if I saw season 3 at all. See, this is where pirating things way easier, because then I know if I've seen them. Because I've downloaded it, I probably watched it.
And
so
did you win the last artwork? Who won the last artwork?
The one from yesterday was Cantanel.
Oh, okay. I thought I saw something by you.
I mean, I do a lot of artwork, but not for the last episode. But now I have to watch Mythic Quest, so thank you, CBrooklyn.
Yeah, that's some homework right there.
I remember watching the first season, and I don't remember you were probably the one that told me to watch it.
Likely, yeah.
I thought it was this is good.
It was clearly low budget, but it was a genius concept. But I'll tell you, in that same vein, the New Zealand, I think they're actually New Zealand guys, not Australian guys, do a comedy skit YouTube channel. God, what are they called? They do a whole series about like NPC Man, and now they've got a new one about video game studios, which is right along the same lines, where it's like take all the creative shit and then completely turn it into how can we make more money off the users for this.
In-game purchases, that was a big
and then basically any good idea completely corrupted, and then anything else just focus on the grift money part of it. Oh damn, what are they called though? They were I know I'm subscribed to them. So you talk I'm gonna scroll and see if I can find them here, because it's definitely worth watching their videos if anybody's not subscribed.
Yeah, I'm
sure somebody knows who I'm talking about.
Just want to say hi to D-Man in the troll room, who says, I need to get a gun, but I live in Illinois and they make you pay for a license every year. That's not true.
That is true.
Every 10 years is the FOID card. I'm in Illinois. I have a FOID card.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. Every 10 card. But
you only have to renew it every 10 years. You need
a card. Now, you could not get one and go buy a gun and then become one of the lawsuits against the ATF challenging this when they arrest you.
He just asked ChatGPT and it said every 5 years. That's interesting. They are only like $10 too. Yeah. So it's
may not be anymore.
well, because our governor here, fucktard fat ass J.D. Pritzker, or it's a JB, said Donald Trump's like Hitler. Like, yeah, really? Come on.
You're also getting sued by the federal government now.
Well, I like that, because I think that Kash Patel should slap on his cuffs and come into Illinois and say hello.
Dude, I would love Kash Patel to start arresting mayors and governors.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
For the people that are intentionally inhibiting the federal government from doing the work they need to do.
Yeah.
Like you go to jail. Just perp walk them.
Exactly.
I would love that. I would pay good money. That would be a pay-per-view special. The Pritzker and Mayor Johnson get arrested show.
Uh-huh.
That would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
What you need to do would be entertaining, and it would teach people that nobody's above the law. They want to pretend the whole Donald Trump thing was, well, you see, we're just showing you that politicians aren't above the law. Except they had to change the law to try to get Donald Trump where these motherfuckers, man.
Yeah. All right. So I found these guys. It's took me a little while here. They're called Viva la Dirt League. A very memorable name. They put out videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
It's almost as good as Santa has diabetes.
7 million subscribers. Viva, V-I-V-A, La L-A, Dirt League. So look them up on YouTube. All their videos are hilarious, frankly, but their latest series that's been going on for probably 3 or 4 months, it's all about producing a video game.
And if we had that many subscribers, we'd be making like what, $250,000 a month?
So 7 million subscribers is probably not that much. No, it's probably like based on what I've seen, it's probably about maybe $1.5 million a year,
which is pretty good.
Yeah. I'm only 6,999,998.
You just keep building them up. That's all you need to do.
I know.
I like that
cool. I
somebody
have
posted
a little app running that's tracking subscribers in real time. That's fun to see as people join up. You know?
I mean, there is just so much junk that is thrown out there now. AI is going to continue to make it worse. Although
there's tons of AI videos, and like you could tell right away when things are AI because they all use the same music.
Yeah, and they're just different voices usually, and it's
or they all use the same voice, even though the videos are totally different.
Yeah, well, you're right. The actual video different, the audio soundtrack exactly the same.
Yeah.
Very weird.
Same soundtrack, same voice, and then the video is just usually a recut of somebody else's video.
Well, I think
but the title always says something like, "This impressive drug cures cancer."
Right. Oh yeah.
And then not tell you anything about the drug, and the video doesn't talk about the drug.
I always like to give a nice thumbs down on those.
Yeah. The problem is a thumbs down is exactly like a thumbs up.
They're like,
they both count as interaction with the video, and interaction is how YouTube promotes videos.
Really, what they need is this video is full of shit button.
And there actually is one. It's not a button, but if you click on the 3 little dots, and you can say, "Don't show any more videos like this."
Ned pointing out the other line. Doctors don't want you to know this.
Yes, that's a good one. There's probably 5 or 6 of fairly reused video titles like that. Yep.
They don't want to. They're all hiding. This is the good stuff you need. But AI's getting better. Somebody posted a video, which was then reposted by Elon. I mean, the guy's like I thought you reposted a lot of shit until I saw Elon Musk. Man, that guy's a machine. He probably
I've been trying out, man, for Elon's reposter job, but the guy who's got it right now is doing an amazing job.
He is. And a guy showed how easy it was with Grok to create an asteroids game. And it's like, this is the exit strategy. Because if you come up with something funny, it doesn't have to be good. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be
the exit strategy is to get Elon to retweet you.
That's the exit. To create a shitty game, have Elon retweet it, and have 1 billion people go download it so I can make $1 million a day.
No. You just gotta make a crypto coin, man. Make a trash coin.
Unrelenting coin?
There you go. Make an unrelenting coin and then launch it. And I hear everybody becomes a millionaire when that happens.
Only if you get people to buy it and then you pull the rug out.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
You
could probably crank out some videos called "Your Doctor Never Told You About the Shit Coin."
Right. If you only bought Unrelenting, you would be cured of cancer.
That's right. Now, we're not saying it cures cancer. Wink, wink.
But we're not saying it doesn't not cure not cancer.
Exactly.
You had enough negatives.
Exactly what we're not saying.
It comes up to. It sounds really good when you put it all together and you edit it.
Hey, man, I remember I turned the guy that had a show that had like no donations coming in at all into Griftcast.
Is he still doing it? Does he have an audience?
I have
Do people
no idea.
stay with him?
I really haven't stayed in touch with him. But because he was bitching to me about not making any money. He was getting like $10 a week, and then over the course of that December, I think he was getting about $1,000 a week.
That's pretty good for what he was doing.
Yeah, exactly. Which, was just, it was kind of rambling, intermixed between pleas for money.
Which we need here. So boost us right now. ScottEvers did between shows.
If you didn't keep pissing off all our listeners, we probably would be getting money.
Just one. Just the Pomeranians.
I don't know, man. I think for every one listener that you know about, there's probably like at least 100 more than you don't.
That's how it is over on Planet Rage, man. The download numbers are like have doubled since the end of last year already.
What are you up to, like 20,000 a month?
Dollars? No. The downloads we're getting closer to 3,500 a show, which
wow, that's huge
for a podcast. Is sadly,
yeah.
But ScottEvers
really good for it. That's like a pro quality podcast right there.
The Brave browser on the phone, Smart Tube on an Android TV, no ads, never use the YouTube app, and I guess I have to look into because I've got the Kodi box, which I use to watch local media on my big TV, but I've just been using the YouTube app or whatever they call it on Roku. But I guess if I can have a similar app on the box that's right next to it and not pay the $18 a month, then maybe I would.
What would you pay $18 a month for? That makes no sense.
That's what YouTube charges now. Isn't that?
Oh, for the ad free.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
Now, if I could just
use worth every dime.
Smart Tube on Android TV rather than and not see any ads, I don't buy that. Not the weird thing, but the way ads work on YouTube is they put them directly in with the video. So how does any ad blocker know to pull them out? I mean, I'm sure you can do some if they're coming from a different IP or something like that, but
yeah, it's not easy, I don't think.
It is something I would have to try. And I realized my Kodi box was not, even though it was set to automatically upgrade, it was not doing that. And I finally ran into a 10-bit video. And what the fuck are 10-bit videos? I'm so behind on this kind of stuff.
Oh, they're HDR.
Okay. And the 10-bit video, I tried to play that on, was a fucking Pawn Stars episode.
Yeah.
And the Kodi box.
What kind of porn stars?
Pawn Stars. The show.
I know.
From the
what
history,
kind of porn stars? That's what I'm trying to understand.
The hit show on History with Rick Harrison and his boy. And
History of porn stars. Got it.
And it went and pressed play, and all of a sudden, boop, reset. The device restarted. What the fuck was that all about? Hit play again. Restarted. Does not like 10-bit files. Now, I've updated Kodi. I'll have to try another 10-bit file and see if that... Because I think even as crappy and small little processor that the Raspberry Pi 5 is, it should be able to handle video and decoding.
I don't know about that. There's a lot of math involved.
Yeah, I guess. I need a new box. Need something bigger, better.
Yeah. Need like a NVIDIA card in there.
Well, the new NVIDIA, everything's rolling out, man. Need to do my crypto mining. Need to do running my LLMs.
Oh, that reminds me. I wonder how much those things are going for right now.
And how
much of a markup is there?
I loved that. This is always the answer of our 3-letter buddy. Anytime you suggest, I'm like, I'm kind of waiting for the M4 Max or Ultra, whatever those chips are called in the Mac Studios. No, mini is better. Wait for next mini. Like, but no, it's not. I mean, it depends what you're doing with it. I understand the people that want to make the case that the Mac Mini is fine for a vast majority of people, for a vast majority of their workflows. But when you start doing any kind of video editing, audio editing, the rendering time will be lowered by a faster chip.
It will definitely be lowered. The question
is it worth it?
Yeah, because as is, your Mac Mini is going to render shit faster than my gaming PC.
Well, your gaming PC, I mean, can we really use that as a comparison?
Well, yeah.
Does it have cute lights that go on and off? It's much more.
It does have a bunch of lights that go on and off. Yeah. How do you know?
Yes, the Mac Mini overall, everything considered, has been a delight.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing is, I also realized that I'm probably going to need to get the wife a new desktop machine. The other day, she was doing something on, which is on the Dell that I purchased, I think, 6 years ago.
Okay.
Which was a top of the line. It's got 64 gig of RAM in it. But because this was 6 years ago, the main drive is an M2 drive. And it's, was it 256? It's like, it filled up. Let's just put it that way. She started getting errors like, no disk space. So I'm like, oh, shit. Now I either have to buy another drive. And you know what it's going to cost me to buy a larger SSD drive to put in there? Probably $150, right?
Yeah.
What can I buy?
Not as much as a 5090.
Okay, true. But it's like, you know what I can buy a whole fucking Mac Mini for out of the box and be new everything?
$600.
Yeah, and not have to worry about the work. The Mac Mini, now they were gone like in a heartbeat. But the M2, like the one you got, right? You're the M2. The M2 Mac Mini refurb were selling, I mean, the lowest end, base end, they were selling for $319 now on the Apple.
Wow.
So it's like, fuck.
Damn good. You can't, man, it's like a price of a keyboard.
Pretty much for you.
So the 5090s, which incidentally are all sold out. Every brand, every model is currently sold out, but they're going for between $2,400 and $2,900.
Wow.
Per card. So $3,000 cards, and they're sold out.
And people want them for gaming. Now, are these the ones that are
instead of buying crippled? A card, I just bought NVIDIA stock.
Right. That's a better idea. The money you make, you can put into a card.
Because I mean, they're $2,800. Jesus.
Is the new one crippled crypto wise? Was it one now?
No.
So these still do the crypto mining.
Yeah. But no one's actually doing crypto mining anymore because there's no point.
Well, true, because the whole price structure per how much time, per how much electricity doesn't make sense. Now people just want to do LLMs.
Yeah, that's what they're buying them for. Yeah.
And so you can do your NSFW images that you want to create without doing them on the cloud. Which I understand.
I do too. That's why I want to get one of these cards, but they're fucking expensive, man. Like my last card, I think was $1,000, and I thought that was like insanely crazy expensive. And now I'm looking at spending $2,000 $2,000 is the list price. They're all going for between 25 and 75% above list.
And which card is that?
The 5090.
Yeah, well, that's saying he's seeing them for $5,000 to $6,000 everywhere. The 5090s. That's insane.
What country is he in?
He's Detroit, which is underwater.
Canadian prices.
Did you see the photos and video?
Oh, those were awesome, man. Yeah, the frozen car wastelands. Yes. It looked like something out of a movie. Yeah.
Yes, like holy crap. Like I'm not complaining about anything once you see that.
Why?
Okay, I mean, what we have going here is nowhere near as bad as.
No, but still, I mean, the interesting thing to me was if that's actually ice, which I don't think it is. I think it's just a layer of ice on top. But if that was actually ice,
play hockey.
All the houses should be moved off their foundations because ice expands.
True. Which is going to, well, either you would be moving off the foundations or it would start around the house and then expand.
Or it would collapse in the foundation.
Right.
Yeah.
That the house itself would just collapse, which neither one's a really good option if you're in the house.
Same thing for all the cars that are trapped in ice like that, because that ice should be denting the car in a nice even pattern all the way around. Like when the ice melts, every single car that was on the street should be damaged.
Nature is a wonderful thing.
And let's see how much money FEMA gives these people.
Well, Trump's going to shut them all down. He's an evil person. He doesn't want any help to go to anybody.
Well, certainly not Detroit.
Well, yeah, Detroit. I mean, there's so many. Yeah. What is the ratio, Ned, lately of how many of the homes are sitting there unoccupied? Because for a while, Detroit was like 65%.
Oh, you could buy a house for like $1. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Like if you want to move to Detroit.
You remember when Top Gear drove through Detroit?
No.
They did their American tour?
No, but I can imagine.
Or maybe it wasn't Top Gear. It might have been their second show on Amazon. But they did like a big drive of big American muscle cars to Detroit, and it was like crickets chirping. The whole city is just dead.
You're like, where'd everybody go?
Well, we know where everybody went to.
Mexico.
Louisiana.
Where all the cars are being made now. Mexico and Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Trump is going to make Detroit great again.
Yeah. Well,
he's bringing cocaine
back, I need
too.
Ford to go up. I'm a little bit upside down on Ford right now.
Yeah, I had Ford stock for a while. I don't even want to look and what.
No,
it was doing well, and then
yeah, it's not doing well so far.
Then it wasn't.
It should be doing better though, because as we start to promote American manufacturing, Ford ought to do well in that.
I was close. Ned says 28% of the homes are currently empty in Detroit. So
that's insanity, man. 28%. That's more homes empty than in Gaza.
Yeah, bring them over. Bring those Palestinians over to Detroit.
I mean, it sounds like that's a perfect place for them, don't you think?
Well, this is something that I've said about the migrant problem for a long time, which is if you want to come into this country and take one of these homes and fix it up so you can live there, let them in. That's part of the deal. These foreign countries do this all the time. Ireland's trying to get people to live on some nearly desolate islands out in the...
they pay good money for those.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
There are other countries like, you can buy an Italian villa for $1,000.
No, you can't.
But then you have to like rehab it, and it's going to cost you $5 million to do what you need to do. Lots of green space in Detroit. Is that true?
There's an interview that I reposted on X that was with a British lord who was offered a contract by the government of the UK to house migrants in his castle. And he said that it was a incredibly high-paying contract, and it was very difficult for him to refuse it. But for the sake of the surrounding areas in the village, he had to refuse it because a lot of the people that live there make their living off of tourism of his castle.
No, close the castle and make it a migrant hotel.
One for the team.
Yeah, make it a migrant
that's what they
shelter.
That's what they were trying to do. They were offering him a year-long full occupancy contract. So no matter how many people are housed in there, he's going to get paid for like literally 100% occupancy. And but they also would get rid of his cleaning staff, and because they would take care of the government that apparently has a cleaning staff. And so these migrants would have been living in a castle for free with free room service and free cleaning service. But he said, that's just, he couldn't do it because that's just fully corrupting, and not, it's, I guess he's thinking like it's his responsibility to keep the villagers happy because you don't want those villagers getting pitchforks.
Well, it's part of your local ecosystem that people used to respect in small towns everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, what's the point of being a lord if you don't have a bunch of villagers to protect?
And let's forget that even if it's a lord, if you have a small town in the middle of anywhere, and all of a sudden bring in, as many people, more, some of these would be more than the current occupancy of the city.
Yeah, literally.
And then be like, well, how is that going to hurt things? It's like, well, because the city is set up, if you have a small town that's like, okay, we have 20,000 people, which is still a decent sized town, but still, if you have 20,000 people and you're like, well, this is, we're built to handle, food and the services, garbage and all of these things that medical care. It's set up so we can handle 20,000 people. If you're like, well, here's another 20,000 people, it's like, well, no, you're not set to handle that. You have to build out slowly. People not learn anything from SimCity back in the day?
Yeah, I feel like SimCity should have been a requirement for anybody going into that line of work.
Yes.
Like if you haven't played SimCity, I don't care what you took in college, you're worthless.
You're like, you can't just drop a doubling your population and go, we're fine.
No.
The sewers will handle it. Don't worry. The shit won't be running in the streets.
Like Detroit. Yeah, exactly.
Right. Can you imagine if that was the sewer line instead of just water? That would be even better.
What makes you think it isn't?
I think it was water, but I don't.
Remember, in Detroit, you could light water on fire.
Well, I mean, I guess that's true. That would be now. If you could light the ice on fire, could you melt it?
That would be very cool ice if you could light the ice on fire.
Because then you can melt the ice by lighting it.
Yeah.
That would take care of all of the
I wonder
problems.
if anyone's tried that in Detroit. But I think it's important for a lord to take care of his village. So it's a good attitude to have. Speaking of lords,
yes.
I've been playing a video game lately.
Wait, no. Well, we need a
called
jingle
Kingdom Come
here.
Deliverance. I know, it's
plays a
amazing.
video game.
And
Zelda's 39.
A friend of mine suggested it, and it's extremely well done. I've been very, very impressed with this game. So this game places you in 1400s Bohemia.
Not Pomerania?
Not Pomerania. It's just that Pomerania is a little bit northeast of there. This is in Bohemia. And I'm hearing Kurva like every hour now.
Oh, now you know where you are then.
Yes, in Bohemia.
Kurva.
Exactly. You're getting better at that.
Thank you.
Just the way that the video game says it too.
I go back. I try to kind of model it after. Do you remember? And you do because you're old. The first versions, the 2D versions of Castle Wolfenstein, when you'd run into the guards, it was great. It scared the crap out of you too back at the time too.
Yeah, because you were playing at night.
Yes, always in the dark.
Yeah.
And it's like, woo.
Yeah.
Then Doom. And see, Doom is when I realized the career in video games was not for me, because even when I had two functioning eyes, I get motion sick when playing any of those first person shooters when I have to walk through a world. Very odd. Does not happen with the full racing simulator driving a car. That's
probably
fine.
Because you're too tall.
Probably.
Yeah.
Too tall, so there's miswired. And just like you sent me the video on about headaches, and it's like, well, I don't really get the headaches. I don't have the pain. I just get the neurological symptoms of having the eyesight go crazy and fireworks and all that.
Right.
And I feel nauseous after, but
it is an interesting thing about the solution that they suggested, not medical advice, is to take more salt.
Yeah, drink salt water.
Which seems counterintuitive to what most people would tell you.
Yes. Well, because they really
don't raise your blood pressure. Don't take any salt. You want to avoid salt at all costs.
Well, if you have a congestive heart failure issue, then you probably do. But otherwise, salt is your friend. Without it, you cannot live.
Yeah. But I've been eating quite a bit of miso lately. Do you like miso?
I don't think I've ever had it. The only way I know from miso is that 2 Live Crew song. Ooh, miso honey. Ooh, miso honey.
Yeah, it's also
for you.
It's fermented rice or fermented beans.
So you're horny for miso instead of miso horny.
It's something like that. It's a a Japanese. I don't want to call it a food per se because it's not.
Well, you eat it, right? So I mean, it is a food, is it not? If you're consuming it,
it's basically a bacterial growth, but it's very tasty.
I want to see the commercials for that. Bacterial growth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's bacteria growing on. Well, it's fermentation, but they make it with a shit ton of salt, like a third of your daily salt in one serving of the thing. And lately, I've started buying a few different brands to see what I like better. And definitely those stuff that's made in Japan is better than the stuff that's made in the US.
Isn't that always the way it is?
But it's pretty pricey though. What's the problem? You gotta import it in. And of course, with all the Trump tariffs, it makes it even more pricey.
There is no real Trump tariffs. He's gonna do good by you. Now, see, I tried to ask Perplexity, but it just told me that miso is a prefix derived from the Greek word mesos, meaning middle or intermediate, which is interesting because my new dentist,
spell it right?
The one, yes, M-E-S-O. Oh, I thought it was M-E-S-O. So then, no, I didn't. I went by what No Beret posted on the troll when he said miso sucks. But my dentist is named Misos. So, I mean, now we know he's
that's probably a Greek name.
Yeah. I mean, it's like Harry Paratestes. There you go.
Most names that end with an S are Greek.
So instead of M-E-S-O, M-I-S-O, No Bray says miso sucks too. He's anti-miso and meso or whatever it is.
No Beret sucks.
Whoa. He was the only one this morning that was like, what the fuck's with this start time, man? Like, we got him.
Oh, good. So that worked out well.
We annoyed him. So now you got to go back when the show drops. We're drop it like it's hot. When the show drops, you got to go catch the beginning, what you missed. That way we get some extra downloads. That way Gene and I can sell advertising.
Or better send some money.
Yeah, that would be good too. You could boost. Miso, a traditional Japanese seasoning made from fermented soybeans. So it's just a seasoning. You put it on things? Is that what you do with miso?
You can.
It is a thick paste with a texture similar to peanut butter. Is that true?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Fermenting soybeans with salt and koji.
It's not quite as thick as peanut butter. It's more like let's see, what is less gooey than peanut butter, but still kind of gooey?
Honey.
Yeah, there you go. It's more like honey. Yeah.
The key components are soybeans, salt, koji. That's a fungus.
Yeah, fungus. Yeah.
Now you got white miso or red miso, or would you miso only both for anyone? You got shiro and aka.
Yeah, I got all the misos, man.
You got some miso soup, which is the most common application. It
is the most common application. You can make that super easily just by squeezing out a little bit of this stuff and then putting it into hot water and then put some scallions in there.
So you squeeze the miso and get it out?
Yeah. It comes in a squeezable tube.
You got to squeeze your tube.
But it's so tasty. I've been eating a lot of American foods with it lately. It's really more of an umami thing.
Well, it says that it's been a staple in Japanese cuisine for over 1,300 years and continues to gain popularity due to its unique umami flavor.
That's literally it. Yeah.
And potential health benefits. What are the potential health benefits of miso?
Well, it's a good probiotic.
Yeah, my dad's doctor put him on a probiotic that's one of these refrigerated ones. And I'm like, holy fuck, do these things get expensive very fast?
Bacteria. Yeah, it's all bullshit.
Of course it is.
Just drink yogurt. Fresh yogurt, not the pasteurized kind. That's all you need.
Yeah, too hard. I don't know why.
And then if you don't like yogurt, then just get some kombucha. That works as well.
Now, they say that the benefits, of course, are digestive because of that. Immune system support. Woo! Heart health. It may lower your cholesterol.
Yeah, the little critters actually eat cholesterol, so.
Cancer prevention may reduce the risk of certain cancers.
It actually eats cancer, apparently. Not medical advice.
Yeah. Rich in antioxidants. Brain health. It may aid memory. So it's like
it eats your brain. So
it eats the B12 that's in your brain, so that way you don't have to take as much B12 anymore. It may support cognitive health, including potential benefits for anxiety.
Tasty, most importantly, so all like crap
and depression.
Side,
are you feeling anxious or depressed, Gene?
I'm working on it.
No. You don't take this if you want to be anxious and depressed.
Oh, I thought that's what it's for. Okay.
Yeah, it is rich in vitamin K. Ooh.
Oh, I take that anyway. I take K2 every morning.
Oh, don't overdo the K, man.
Really?
I don't know.
Is that one of those that you can't overdo? I've been overdoing it.
Maybe overdoing that. I don't know.
It all just comes out, right? You're the one who's not giving medical advice.
We never give medical advice here on Unrelenting. We suggest you find a doctor that you can trust and go to them and ask them the dumb questions about the things that you've heard here on Unrelenting.
And ideally like a chiropractor.
Because they're totally doctors.
Well, they are totally doctors who can agree with us on all these supplements.
They're not scam artists at all.
No.
They totally went to medical school somewhere in like Peru.
Well, they went to massage school, but it's basically the same thing.
Hey, a good massage. It's hard to pass that up.
Yeah. I've known a few
massage therapists,
chiropractors. I've known a few of them too, but I've known a few chiropractors in my day.
They're the ones
I've gotten to be the guinea pig for some of those. Yeah.
Speaking of not medical advice, the EU is now warning that caffeine is dangerous.
I've heard that. I mean, I know that I can't drink caffeine. Well, we've talked about this. If I drink coffee more than 2 days in a row, on the third day, I'll get a headache.
You get the jitters.
No, I get a headache.
But the tea is okay. And there's caffeine.
Yeah, I drink tea all day long. I drink like usually about maybe a little less than a gallon of tea a day.
So for you, it's not the caffeine that's a problem, but something.
Oh, it is the caffeine.
Then why is it just because the level of caffeine is less in the tea?
It's a spike. Yeah, the tea is way lower caffeine level, and it's just slow throughout the day. I don't drink coffee though. I only drink espresso.
Ah, well.
And so that caffeine is a very big hit of caffeine all at once. And I feel good when I first drink it. I'm like, yeah, I remember this. This is good. Caffeine's good.
Yeah. This is
and then second day, cocaine. I'm like, oh yeah, this is pretty good. And then the third day is like, why does my head hurt?
You're not getting enough salt water, Gene. Didn't we already discuss this?
I must not be getting enough salt water because when I'm drinking caffeine.
Make the coffee with salt water.
Because coffee is a diuretic.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe salt coffee. Forget this butter coffee bullshit.
Right.
Salted coffee. That's what you want.
Yes.
Salted coffee.
Well, salted and butter coffee to get all of your daily nutritional levels hit.
Yeah. But I would recommend that anyone who has not tried miso, pick up yourself a tube of miso at the grocery store and just try adding it to a few things. I find that it's very good.
You put it in a burrito?
Good. But squirt a little bit out on the burrito. I've been putting it on anything from like eggs to sandwiches to meat, like both pre and post cooking. In fact, I gotta probably fry up a steak today for lunch.
Oh, well, that would be good.
It's very good. It's not cheap, but it's quite good. It's about $1 an ounce.
The report on caffeine?
No, it's about $2 an ounce. About $2 an ounce.
Well, that's kind of like getting yourself a good pączki. The little things that come out. The Polish love them for the Fat Tuesday coming up. Everything's more expensive now.
I've never heard of the word you just said.
Pączki, baby. It's called the pączki.
How do you spell that?
See, that's where you have the fun, is where you try to spell it. Because in Polish world, there's like weird symbols in that. It is in the most Americanized spelling would be Paczki.
Oh, how'd you pronounce that?
Pączki.
Pączki.
I've always heard pączki.
I would say pączki, but maybe I'm wrong. But that's how I would pronounce that word.
Could be a different Polish. Everything Polish is spelled CSB according to Sir
It's not a regular A.
No, it's a different symbol.
It's an A with a thingy on the bottom.
Yeah, what do you call the A with the dangling thing on the bottom there?
Yeah, it's like a...
If only somebody in our audience knew Polish.
We don't have any Polish-speaking audience members.
It's Pączki, right? Pączki, CSB, Pączki. I don't know why, but that's always the way I've heard it. Because then when I saw it spelled, I was like...
CZ, I would pronounce as a j sound. So I would say, but maybe mine's more of Czech pronunciation of that. But,
it's possible.
Well, this video game that I've been playing, takes place basically in modern day Czech Republic, historically Bohemia.
And you've learned what?
In the 1400s. It's an awesome game. You really, it's more like a simulator. So you ride horses, you steal horses and bring them to the Hungarians to trade in.
Yeah, isn't that how you usually get dead if you steal horses?
Well, no, that's what the gypsies are for. And, you have castle stuff to do.
Okay,
and,
now, Adam Curry,
yeah,
if he's listening, he says AI is no good for anything.
He said that on the last episode of his show.
I asked...
Do you have the clip from yesterday?
No, I should. Episode? But I just asked Perplexity.AI, how do you say then that word? And the answer was the correct pronunciation is Pączki. This is how the word is pronounced in native Poland. However, it says
Pączki.
Pączki, yes. It says, however, many people, especially in Chicago, often mispronounce it. So, wow. Okay, so thanks, AI. Some common mispronunciations would be Pączki.
Pączki, yeah.
Pazeki, which I could see people looking at that and going, Pazeki? No. And Pusky, which does not sound good. But the first symbol that PA is pronounced like pound, it says rhymes with town. So pound, Pączki. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a
Pączki scheme, exactly, Tom.
Yeah, exactly. It's a Pączki scheme.
It is a rich filled donut-like pastry, often covered with powdered
donut.
sugar.
I just looked it up online, dude.
I know.
It's literally a donut.
And I've seen people selling them. The bakery here is $3. I saw another one that was like $5 a piece. Like, it's a donut. Sure, they are delicious, but they are simply a donut.
Pączki.
But people, for Fat Tuesday, it's a big thing, right, with the Lent thing coming up. The Polskis like the Pączkis.
Pączki.
Say Pączki with us, everybody. It's fun. Just say it. Pączki.
Yeah.
Learn Polish on Unrelenting.
So I want to see what the Czech version of this is.
What about the Ukrainian version? Is there a Russian version? Do they really originate in Russia, and that's the true Pączki kings?
I doubt it. There are some Russian like bakery sweets, but they're not really. It's not really a big Russian thing. Most of that came to Russia from Europe.
The Polish area of Detroit is now Muslim, so you get different pastries there on that.
I bet you do.
The more you learn.
What's the official currency of the Muslim area of Detroit?
That's a good question. Do they?
Yeah, is it the lira or the?
What are they spending? What are they? Yeah, what shekels are going back and forth? You never know until you go. Nobody has boosted during today's show, but we are live.
Yeah. And that doesn't surprise me.
No.
Yeah, you got to provide a quality product if you want boost.
Dude, this is the best show on at 10 a.m., sometimes 8:30 a.m. for Fridays on the Mighty No Agenda stream.
Occasionally.
Is curated by Membros. Oh, there we go. I just saw the confetti flying on the screen. 3333 from CSB as a reward for the Pączki discussion. He says, see a real pain movie, Kurva. Yeah, I know he's big on that movie. I don't know what I have to look at what that is. That a real pain, it's called.
Real Pain?
Yeah.
I've never heard of it. Is it out now?
I think so. It was up for some award that he was like, oh, if it wins, he's going to send a big boost to the show. And
why?
I don't know. Not this show. It was a Planet Rage. It was a totally different thing.
Oh, okay. So is he still donating to Planet Rage then? He's just not donating to this show?
No, we made him mad, so he wasn't donating to Planet Rage.
Oh, you also made him mad on that show.
Yeah,
there's a commonality here that seems to be...
me angering people does not stop at one show's borders. I mean, it's that big.
Real Pain is about a dude with Jewish heritage touring through Poland
in honor of their
grandmother. Family history.
You got to get there's a lot of different flavors of the Pączki, not just to decide what flavor you're going to get.
Eisenberg is in it, and it's written by him.
The guy that was,
this is like the third movie written by a Jewish actor about going back to the old country.
This is the guy that was in The Social Network, Jesse Eisenberg, right?
Yeah, the Jewish sounding guy.
Right. Well, he looks Jewish too, but he's,
Well, his name's Eisenberg, so go figure.
Do you think he's actually Jewish, Eisenberg?
I wonder.
Oh, man. I wonder if he's having some Pączki for Fat Tuesday coming up.
Well, probably not, because he's Jewish.
But he was in Poland, where they'd be like, hey, if he was there around Fat Tuesday, they'd be trying to throw a Pączki at him.
So in this video game, what's interesting is there is a Jewish ghetto.
You said this is
Jewish
very
section.
realistic.
Yeah, it's a simulation. It's a Jewish sector of the city out there. And you can actually go and buy bagels.
Okay, so this is like somebody writing the game and like, what do we need in a Jewish neighborhood? Is there a deli too? Can I go buy some matzo ball soup?
They don't have matzo ball soup. They probably should. They have a number of Jewish foods there you can buy. Tons of pastries too. And one of my favorites, actually CSV's probably eaten this before. Two different foods in that group that I like. One is it's a poppy seed filled, I guess for lack of a better name, kolache. And then the other one is a poppy seed sweet roll, which is like a loaf of bread with poppy seeds folded in. So the loaf is created by taking a flat piece of dough, putting a layer of sweet honey-soaked poppy seeds on across the whole thing, and then rolling it up so that the poppy seeds are in multiple layers inside. It's kind of a poppy seed burrito.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
Yes. And it is so good.
Well, I like the little like sesame and honey wafers that are also big in Poland. I've ordered them on Amazon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're delicious.
I made the mistake one time of at a Russian store buying the poppy seed mix. So it's basically, if you're going to bake these things at home and you don't want to go to the trouble of soaking the poppy, seeds and getting them all prepped, because you got to get them prepped. And so you could buy them pre-mixed with the honey and everything else. And so I bought this, and then I thought, I better try this. So I took a spoon and put it in there and ate it. And I was like, oh my God, this is so good. So that thing never got used in anything and just got eaten.
You're like, it's a snack. It's great.
It's literally like the sweet part of a dessert bread without the bread.
Well, then you would like the Lowell Sesakis Sesame Bar. It is a product of Poland. Sesakiss on Amazon. And I had never had this until we picked up shawarma the one day. And then I think he's a Palestinian dude. like threw a couple of these in because he had them, and it was like, damn, these are like addictive. They're basically a little sesame wafer has a, it's loaded with honey. I mean, but it's not sticky or anything. So it's just it's a nice.
There's a Polish candy that I've eaten since I was a little kid. That's called a little cow, krówki.
Little cow.
Yeah, it got a picture of a cow. I mean, I guess it doesn't have to be little, but it's basically cooked sweet condensed milk formed into a little square in a candy wrapper. Krówki is what they're
so a caramel.
Yeah, it's a yeah, well, but it doesn't taste like an American caramel at all. It's crumbly. It actually kind of crumbles in your mouth, and it's not burnt. Like American caramel is typically fairly strong burn.
What's your favorite Polish candy? Vote now.
Yeah, that one's pretty good. I also pick up so this is all from the Russian grocery store, or the European grocery store, as a lot of them prefer to be called these days, saying they're not Russian.
Totally Ukrainian.
There's also what?
They're totally Ukrainian now.
The totally Ukrainian grocery store. Well, the reality is I shouldn't say. I think there's been one Russian grocery store that I've been to, that was actually started and ran by Russians. Every other Russian grocery store was owned or run by Ukrainians, Slovenians, or Slovakians, or, you name it, any East European country, Belarusians, just not Russian. And I think that it's most of the products that they get, used to be Russian. These days, you can't get any Russian products. They're all banned. So everything's coming from Eastern Europe, just not Russia.
There's got to be an underground. There's got to be a way to get your Russian caviar.
Well, the caviar isn't really from Russia. It's
you got to get your Russian vodka.
It goes by way of Iran.
But wait, there are enemies.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Iran. No. Not good.
I don't think so.
Double check the list.
Double check the list. Anyway, I was going to say another Polish thing that I get there pretty regularly is a sort of it is a, what do you call these things? It's like layers of thin dough with chocolate in between. Goddamn, it's on the tip of my tongue. They're
layers of thin dough with chocolate.
What do you call that thing?
Like the Greek stuff, the baklava?
No. I was afraid you were going to go there. No.
Baklava is delicious too.
Baklava can be, but baklava is so sweet, dude. I can't eat it anymore.
Well, not when you got diabetes.
Wafers I'm thinking of the wafers.
Santa's got diabetes.
Exactly. So they're basically like a chocolate covered wafer cake. So it's round. It's maybe like 6 or 7 inches in diameter. And it's a chocolate wafer. So layers of, chocolate and wafer bread. Well, it's not bread. You know what I mean? So a wafer cookie, but the whole thing is covered in chocolate. And so it's almost like a wafer cake almost.
I mean, it sounds delicious.
Yeah. And there's, I think, a variant of that is a cookie.
Is it
a wafer cookie that I've also it's called Prince Polo.
Is it babka?
I always get that.
Are you thinking
no,
babka?
It's not babka.
That was Seinfeld there, Ned. So good. I mean, you gotta get a babka. Have you seen the baby? We gotta get the chocolate babka.
That's totally different. This is a wafer. Babka's not a wafer.
Yeah, but it was a Seinfeld reference, which we appreciate.
We appreciate that. Yeah. But yeah, Prince Polo, if you ever see those candy bars, pick that up. Those are really good. I think they're Polish. I am not 100% sure, but I believe they're Polish.
I mean, CSB could probably tell you.
Well, but he doesn't listen to this show. So
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
The chocolate wafer candy, that is, it's like Kit Kat.
No, not at all.
No, it looks like a Kit Kat. Yeah, that's
Oh, yeah. It's a Prince Polo. Yeah, that does look like a Kit Kat without the divisions between each.
and
bar.
then there is the Hagi Fret Kinder Bueno.
That's combining German and Spanish.
And they can which is popular in Norway and Sweden, which are well-known chocolate wafer candy brands.
Mm.
But Kit Kat would be the most popular because it's Americano.
Yeah, Kit Kat's probably a fairly close to.
Then the Necco chocolate wafers, low fat.
Mm-hmm.
It's an American classic. Well, no, you want a Polish classic.
I found it. Okay, so it is Polish. I was right. Let me see what brand it is. I found the picture of it.
Gene looks at a screen.
Yeah, I'm looking at my screen. I don't know if this is a brand. It's Ewadel. I don't know why they're World of Food, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, let me just do a search for that and see if that's what they are. Because I found what it looks like. Now I'm trying to figure out if the thing that, I guess that is a brand. Ewadel is a brand that makes chocolates.
This would be great
make
content
the
if everybody
chocolate
could
cake,
see Gene's screen.
The big round chocolate cake. So I'm going to mispronounce this, I'm sure, because I'm doing it with a Russian read, so Russian accent in Polish, but it's Torchik-Widlowski is what I would pronounce that as, which is available on Amazon for $10.
Of course, get it on Amazon right now.
Torchik-Widlowski.
And CSB says Prince Polo are Polish. Yes. Anyways, poppy seed roll equals makowiak in Polish.
Yeah, mak is what poppies are in Russian as well.
It is my favorite Polish cake. Yo, he says.
Wow, look at that. I can't
Makowiak.
believe that. A Slavic taste for food? Wow.
That's how you do it, man.
Well, okay, so CSB, since you're listening, have you had this Torchik-Widlowski?
That's how do you even spell Torchik-Widlowski?
Torcik.
Torcik. Let's see.
Wedlowski.
It's the way you want
Just
to
like
go.
I pronounced it.
It is a wafer candy.
But you see, it's like a round, like a big round wafer.
Yes,
with multi-layers of chocolate and wafer.
It is produced by Ewadel, one of Poland's oldest chocolate brands, featuring layers of wafers with peanut cream, coated in dark chocolate and hand decorated with the company founder's name.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's why you start a chocolate company, so bitches can put your name on candy.
Yeah.
You can make it yourself. Sir Bemro says his favorite shows are when people look things up on the internet and talk about them.
Well, then he's at the right place because that's literally what we do.
You finally found your home.
This show, you see, the problem is Bemrose doesn't realize we're doing this show on YouTube with video where people are looking at things we're talking about.
Millions
he
of people.
He probably is just listening to it.
Yeah, because he refuses to get a YouTube account because he's a plebe.
Yep. There you go.
I'm not gonna give Google my money, man. I'm not gonna give them my ID, man. They wanna strap me to the fucking chair, man. They wanna take my identity. They wanna do it all.
You know what I like doing to people that talk like that?
Hang up.
It's I like signing them up for various accounts.
Yeah. So Bemrose is gonna be getting a lot of mail. Yes, I've had Torchik-Widlowski, but I prefer. Oh wow, yeah, PTASIEM. Is that LECZK?
Hey, no, we're clearly doing the show where you're spelling shit.
Yeah, this is CSB prefers, and you got another 33 just to tell us. So I mean, it's got to be good. But now, what is this? When you send stuff that nobody can pronounce, sign them up for Chewy, says Ned. I get a lot of spam. I just have to go, nope, spam, nope, spam, nope, spam. They're like, do you just want to unsubscribe or do you want to report spam? I'm like, fuck you. I didn't sign up for it. So report it as spam. I didn't know there was, I'm sure this is.
Yeah. I've had, these are good too.
It means bird's milk.
Bird's milk. That's what they're called. That's exactly right. Yeah.
There was somebody that sent me an email, and I guess I missed maybe the first one, about wanting to redo the website for grumpyoldbens.com. So this morning I got another one from them, and they're like, if you don't want to continue getting email from us, respond with no or whatever. And I just responded back with fuck off, spammer, which I'm sure is only going to get my email put onto more lists of no doubt about it. Bird's milk,
if
a classic.
You reply, you're interacting, and that means you're a real email address.
I know. Polish confectionery created by E. Wendell in 1936, while CSB was just a little boy in 1936. It consists of soft, fluffy, marshmallow-like centers coated in chocolate.
Yeah. Those are really good. There's a non-Polish brand of those that I actually like, because Bird's milk is pretty common in, I think, all of Eastern Europe. And they're round. These are square. The ones I'm thinking of are like round with a hole in the middle.
You mean
but
donuts?
It's the same exact taste. They look more like donuts, but they have but they're not. They're flat on one side, so the bottom side is totally flat. So if you think of imagine making a marshmallow donut on a plate, so that the bottom side is totally flat when you squirt out the dough, but it's not dough. It's this.
When you squirt out the goo, it's like the magic goo.
It's it's not donut. Why am I saying donut? It's marshmallow. When you squirt out the marshmallow, you basically draw a circle of marshmallow on the plate with a hole in the middle, and then you cover the whole thing in dark chocolate. And those are so good. And I can't remember what they're called, but I bought them at the Russian store as well. There's a lot of really good sweets that people in Europe eat that Americans just don't know about.
And why don't they all have diabetes?
None of them have diabetes, but people here all have diabetes. Amazingly, that's one thing I will say is when I came to the U.S., I noticed that most foods were way more flavorful. Like everything just had really good, strong taste. Usually good, not always, but definitely a strong taste. Except desserts. American desserts completely suck in comparison to European desserts. That is one area where I don't know what happened. I think it's probably the British culture because the British just don't have dessert. They've never learned how to make it. And I think that kind of got pushed into the US 250 years ago. But American desserts are just not really good. American chocolate is definitely not good.
Well, no kidding.
American chocolate to chocolate.
Do you know that Hershey's bar now, a Hershey bar does not have any chocolate in it? They don't call it. I don't
know that, but I'm not surprised at all.
They don't call it milk chocolate anymore. It's a chocolate-like substance.
Yeah, there you go.
And they fucked up totally. There's no doubt in my mind. Dots Pretzels.
Mm-hmm.
When my dad was in rehab for his surgery back in,
you got some pretzels.
We got some Dots Pretzels, which were the cinnamon and sugar covered pretzels.
Okay.
And these were the most, it was horrible because they were the most addictive things I've ever eaten. They were light. They were delicious. They were sweet. They were salty. And so we bought a bag and went through them, bought another bag, went through them, bought another bag. And it's like, oh, these seem a little off. Bought another one. They're shit. And I looked it up. Hershey's bought the fucking brand and has been moving the production into their own facilities and obviously totally changing the way they fucking make them. They ruined them, man. They were addictive. And I've seen other people complaining about other Dots flavors of the same thing. Like, I couldn't figure out because I used to love these and I went to the store one day and all of a sudden I was like, wow, these are not good anymore.
They're horrible. Yeah, Hershey's chocolate is probably some of the worst chocolate in the world. Most other brands of chocolate, especially from other countries, are better.
Well, they're made the old-fashioned way. They're made with better ingredients.
I've had better What?
Better ingredients.
It's not better ingredients. It's different ingredients. There's no reason you couldn't make good chocolate here.
Oh, of course.
In fact, Ghirardelli makes very good chocolate.
They do.
In the U.S., but that's not what most people eat. Most people eat Hershey-style chocolate. Not
when are we launching Neptune of chocolate?
Well,
It'd be perfect for a guy with diabetes.
Yeah, exactly. The best diabetes chocolate you've ever had once before you died. But I used to work at Cadbury chocolate.
Wow, that's another big chocolate producer.
Yeah. So,
and by work, you meant you were like Lucy and Ethel on the line, and
yes, I was just like Lucy and Ethel, exactly.
Just shoving them in your mouth as fast as you could. Hence diabetes.
Yeah, I've been to their offices all over the world, and one of the things that they have, or at least back then, is they had all their chocolates in their meeting rooms or conference rooms, to have people eat them. Like they were replenished regularly for free. You could go buy snacks, or you could just eat stuff that Cadbury made. And after working on a project there for about a month, I took out all the guys that were working for me during one lunch, and I said, "Okay, if you guys think that this is good chocolate, which it's better than Hershey's, okay? To be fair, Cadbury's is better than Hershey's, but it's literally the next worst after Hershey's." And so I went and took them to a store to buy some really good European chocolate, like mainly Swiss chocolates.
And these are the people that are running Cadbury at the time?
Well, not running Cadbury, but this was my team that we were all working on.
Gotcha.
And so I said, you have to understand what good chocolate is so you know what shitty chocolate is. And then the place we're working is shitty chocolate. And yeah, everybody agreed. After they had some good chocolate, they were like, yeah, you're right. This is way worse. And it's like, it's British. Like British stuff has no flavor. The UK being the furthest away from the Orient was the last to get any spices. And so they learned to eat gruel with no spices. And I think that has stayed with them forever. If you want to get good food in the UK, what do? You go to like a Pakistani or an Indian restaurant. You go to a Middle Eastern restaurant. You don't go to a British restaurant. If you want good food, good taste that's European and not Middle Eastern or Indian, then you go to a French restaurant or an Italian restaurant. You don't go to a British food restaurant. The most flavorful thing you're going to have is fish and chips.
Oh, that just depends how long it's been since they've cleaned the oil.
Never.
Which is that's where the taste comes from. That's why you can't reproduce it.
Yeah. I had some Chinese food the other day, and the little sesame balls, which looked exactly right the way they should look, but they tasted like egg rolls.
Okay, that's weird.
I'll let you guess why.
Well, they fried them up?
Yeah. Same oil.
Yeah, in the egg roll.
Same oil.
That'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
The taste do transfer, kids. That's why
oil is very good. And most taste is actually oil. It's an oil. It's not a water-based thing. It's an oil-based thing. So when you put oily substances that I know saying adhere to oil is the wrong way to say it, but basically non-water soluble substances tend to be soluble in oil, and that's how you transfer a lot of good taste.
And I just want to point out that but with these three booths, CSB is by far the biggest contributor to today's show, which tells us we're just going to have to continue Polish talk for the for the upcoming episodes if we want to make any kind of donations at all. So,
well, you're half Polish. You're like halfway there.
True.
You just need to learn how to appreciate Polish foods.
Halfway there, living on a pączki.
Have you ever had one? You should get one.
Oh yeah, I grew up with the pączkis, and of course the kolaczkis, which I always knew is like.
How do you not know how to pronounce it if you grew up with it?
Again, I said I've always heard when people would say,
or did you just call it a punzi?
People would call them punchki. So they were close because it's not punchki. It would be punchki.
Punchki.
Which is, again, rhymes with town, we've learned now, allegedly, according to AI.
And it's a ch sound. I see. When I read that, I tend to generally pronounce it as a j sound, not a ch sound. But, I'm not Polish, so.
And the pierogies are good too, Billy Bones. I love me some pierogi. You get a little bit of...
I like the Russian ones better.
What's the difference? What goes in them mainly, right? Because otherwise...
it's actually a completely different food.
Dough?
They have the same name, but different food.
But what is it then? What's the Russian one? How do you compare a...
The pierogi? Russian one is a hot pocket.
So... more of a...
It's a meat stuffed hot pocket.
So not a... more like a... where the Polish version of pierogi is more like... not. So it's not like a pastry. You're saying the Russian one is more of like a breading?
The Polish one, I think, is more like a pot sticker. And I know I'm generalizing, but it's from that category. It's from the category of like food that's boiled or fried. That's like a little sealed up pot sticker kind of thing. The Russian ones are a different type of dough, and they're baked.
Yes, that's totally weird.
Steamed.
Well, yeah. Well, the Polish ones, you want to like boil or steam them and then put them in with a little butter and fry them up. Yeah.
The Russian ones, I would say, are more like the Chinese meat filled buns.
It's way more pedestrian. It sounds like. If it sounds like a hot pocket, you can just go to the store and get one.
A term that you're clearly familiar with. I didn't want to use terms that you don't know what they were.
Oh yeah. Let's see.
I think you've had a hot pocket or two in your life.
Russian and Polish pierogies, while similar in concept, have some distinct differences according to the mighty AI. Polish is called
you can't
pierogi.
Trust AI. It's all lies.
The Russian is known as pelmeni.
Yeah, pelmeni is closer to what the Polish pierogi is. Pelmeni is the best way I can describe it. It's like a pot sticker.
The Polish dough, typically made with flour, eggs, water, and sometimes oil, where the Russian often includes sour cream in their dough recipes. For Polish, the most popular fillings are potato and cheese, which is, oddly enough, it says pierogi Ruski. Well, that sounds very Russian to me. The Russian pelmeni are usually filled with ground meat.
Yeah.
And can have various other fillings.
Yep.
The Polish often boiled and pan-fried in butter, as I suggested, where Russian typically boiled and served with melted butter or sour cream.
Yep. And usually the way I like it, the way I've really grew up eating them is with vinegar.
Well, they are popular in Siberia. So that's
where they came from, yeah. Which, I mean, we say they came from Siberia, but really they came from China.
In Russia, they are often served with vinegar. There you go.
Yeah. Vinegar just makes it so much tastier. Sour cream and vinegar mixed together is what I prefer to do, because when you mix vinegar with sour cream, it makes it more light, like it adds liquid to it, so it's not as stiff. It turns it more into a salad dressing consistency.
Yeah, like a sauce, kind of more than...
Like a sauce, and then literally just bathe those things in there. Oh, so good. Man, well, that's what I learned. You're getting me hungry. I haven't had pelmeni for a long time.
I'm hungry too. I haven't had lunch yet, obviously.
Yeah, I haven't either. Because we're doing the show in the morning, so yeah.
When in Ireland, that's when I really got into the malt vinegar on fries.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a similar thing. It's like, oh.
It is. Yeah.
And it makes sense because Americans love the ketchup on fries, and there is vinegar and ketchup.
There is. That's true.
So it's just, you're kind of taking the tomato
I've always liked, mayonnaise on fries.
You know, I am a mayo addict, so I try to avoid that kind of because I would overdo it.
But if you're gonna eat fries, you might as well have mayo on them.
You may as well. You know what the best fry that I ever had was a place here. I'm sure there are still a few of them in existence. The one by us, though, disappeared. The Al's Italian Beef, which is one of the original, before the fucking Portillo's came into the area. Al's Italian Beef was one of the original. They've got them downtown.
Okay.
And they had blue cheese fries, which were just way too damn good. Because I love me some blue cheese. And this was like, it wasn't just like blue cheese salad dressing. There was crumbled blue cheese and like some other kind of, creamy, like the kind of maybe a covering like you would in, it was probably a mayonnaise based.
Yeah.
Just with some blue cheese mixed in. We getting everybody hungry now in the,
I'm literally like trying to figure out if there's any place that delivers that style of food. I don't think there is.
Oh, okay? Anybody in Austin can get Gene some pelmeni.
Yeah,
it was not Al's Beef.
There are no close Russian places anymore at all. Like they all shut down during COVID, they survived COVID and then they shut down during the
the big invasion
operation.
Thanks to Joe Biden for allowing
special military operation. Yes.
Yeah, that definitely looks. What you sent me definitely screams Hot Pocket. It's like the Hot Pocket people stole this and made it.
Yeah, totally. Except that this is way tastier.
Well, yeah, and there's way more meat. The Hot Pockets are a little skinny. It's kind of like, wait, there was supposed to be meat inside of this. Where is it?
You keep chewing and think, it'll start to the next bite,
right?
Probably.
Yes. Kind of like the calzone I bought at Aldi the other day. It's like,
gosh.
Where's the
Aldi?
filling?
You go to an Aldi? Oh my God.
You don't like Aldi?
Is that bad?
No, Aldi does some good stuff.
It's poverty grocery store, yeah.
Not anymore. Aldi is good stuff. Now, here's the reason we started going to Aldi was because
you enjoy paying for a shopping cart. Is that why you started?
You put your quarter in, man. It's great. Then if somebody leaves their cart in the, without bringing it back, you get a free quarter unless they put a slug in it. Those bastards. The Aldi has all of the flavored potato chips, including ones that come in the sleeve like Pringles do. Yeah. And they have the same flavors that Pringle, not all of them, but they have like the sour cream and onion. They have the flavored Pringles, but they're the Aldi brand. So they do not have the MSG that the fucking actual Pringles puts in.
Yeah. So what's the use then?
They're better. And I can eat them without having the ocular migraine with Aura. So that's where we started going to Aldi, was because you can get things
they can't even afford MSG. That's how bad they are.
That's how good it is. They don't have the MSG.
Oh my God.
And it was interesting too. Bad. I mean, and I don't eat cereal much, like maybe once every 2 weeks or every month, because otherwise I'm making scrambled eggs, I'm making oatmeal. So it's rare. But they have the Frosted Mini Wheats, which is pretty much my go-to cereal, very basic.
Frosted Mini. How have you not developed diabetes is what I'd like to know.
Again, only like about once a month. But with the Frosted Mini Wheats, so they have, the strawberry and the blueberry Frosted Mini Wheats, but they don't put in the food dye. So it's not red and blue like the fucking stuff you get from Kellogg's. So there's a few things that Aldi does that I think they do very well. And at least around here, they've remodeled a bunch of them, and they are more along the line. I don't think there's any question they're trying to compete with like the Whole Foods and stuff now. They're trying to make it more, high end, although the pricing is still very good compared to the other supermarkets around. And that is because of things like, well, you put a quarter in to get the cart and then you bag your own fucking groceries, which some of the other places around here have started doing, which is like, really, is it that bad? But I guess to pinch every penny, They just put this shit right in your cart and like, you want a bag? Bring your own bags.
Yeah, in the 1970s, my memory of going to a Russian grocery store was you bring your own bags. They have a limited selection. There may not be toilet paper available, and you have to do your own packing of the groceries. And there's a guy standing on the way out to make sure you didn't steal anything. Like, we're almost there. We're very close to being there in this country.
Hey, well, we have that at Costco forever. People that stand at the door and they go, oh,
that's true. Yeah, you got to bring your own bags to Costco too.
It's for your convenience. You got to. It's America, baby.
It's communist America, maybe.
It's all turning, though, because MAGA.
Isn't Costco one of those companies that's just digging their heels on the whole woke thing?
Yeah, they're still like, we want to be woke. We want to be woke.
Yeah.
Woo! Disney and Target are turning on woke Costco. If that isn't enough to let you know which way the wind is currently blowing, you might want to double check.
Hey, CSB, I got another question. I'm tired of talking to you there, and I'm going to talk to CSB.
All right,
Have you had galupci, which is a cabbage leaf stuffed with ground beef or pork?
It sounds like something we used to have called galumki. Is that the same thing?
If galupki is cabbage leaf stuffed, then maybe.
Galumki. What is galumki?
It's called galupci in Russian, but it might be called something else in other countries.
And I don't know how to spell, so that is also very... Bemro says Costco's a Seattle company. I didn't realize that. So he said they will die.
Yeah. That's true. I've been to that original Costco out there, and I've been to the original Costco in California.
And yes, Golubki, Golumpki, also spelled Golubki, or then there's Polish symbols, is a traditional Polish dish consisting of stuffed cabbage rolls.
Yeah. Oh, I love that stuff.
Ground meat, rice or barley, onions or seasonings. The cabbage are usually cooked in a tomato-based sauce, baked in an oven for an hour and a half.
See, this is the kind of food that got me to be fat back when I was married, because my ex-wife used to cook all this stuff. And it was really good. That's one thing I will never deny, that my ex-wife was a very good cook.
The name
of all the traditional Russian foods
is derived from the Polish word for little pigeons, referring to the shape of the rolls.
Yeah. So that's, you have candy called cows, you have candy called bird milk, then you have little pigeons. I mean, are you sensing a theme here?
Yes. Galumki is a beloved dish which represents the hearty and flavorful nature of Polish cuisine, combining simple ingredients into a satisfying and comforting meal. Yeah, we're doing a whole show for CSB about his Polish heritage today, everybody.
Apparently.
If you want us to do a show about your heritage,
how about some potatoes with mushrooms?
You need to come in with some big boosts.
Yes, that's good stuff.
I'm waiting for the boost. I'm just looking. I'm waiting.
I got another question from. So there's a salad that I've never understood the name of it, that is fairly traditional.
So now we have a new segment, something Gene doesn't understand.
It's called Ask CSB. So it's called the Olivier salad. And I've never understood why the hell it's called Olivier, but it's basically a meat salad with peas, meat, eggs, usually mayonnaise, some kind of other chopped up.
The name originates from its creator, Lucien Olivier, chef of French
I don't
and
trust
Belgian origin.
your AI based answers on this stuff.
He worked in Moscow in the 1860s. He was the head chef at the Hermitage, one of Moscow's most celebrated restaurants.
That's where I used to be. Yeah.
Ah, yes. Chef Lucien Olivier.
Interesting. So he's actually a foreigner.
Yeah, French.
French sounds like, yeah.
And so a French dude Moscow. I don't know how you
created a salad.
I would surprise, right?
Yeah. Huh. What was he doing in Moscow?
That is a good question. Besides working at the restaurant, initially called Wild Game Mayonnaise or Game Bird Mayonnaise.
There we go.
That doesn't sound quite as good.
It is a very tasty salad.
Caviar, crawfish tails, grouse.
Mm-hmm.
It is a closely guarded secret that Olivier took to his grave. So wait, nobody really knows how to make this anymore?
No, you just make it with mayonnaise.
You just throw a bunch of mayo on a salad. That sounds very healthy.
It's a meat salad.
In many parts of the world, it's called Russian salad.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, I'm fucking not Russian. I'm French and Belgian.
Is that where some?
That's what it said.
Belgian land?
Hey, if the AI says so, I'm like, whew, I believe you. And wow, another 3333 from CSB. Kurwa, I don't know mispronounced Polish food, but I am regular Polak, so I like, and then he spells golumki in the way that the Polish would spell golumki.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is golubtsy in Russian. So it would have the CZ in there if you spelled it in Russian.
See, nobody was expecting Polish food talk when they tuned into Unrelenting today.
Yeah. Well, and that's one of the things that I always did when I went to Chicago is I made sure on the way back before heading home, I would stop in one of the Polish restaurants on the north side.
Hey, we got a bunch on the south side now, too.
Well, you didn't used to.
I know. We're letting the Polish move.
They moved?
Yeah,
what's going on with the north side?
I don't know. I don't go to the north side, but the Polish are probably trying to get out of the city into the suburbs. Yeah,
because the south side was not a place anybody wanted to have a restaurant back in the day.
No, now you got to go to the south suburbs. You have to bypass still the south side. Remember, said he was expecting podcasting 2.0. No, you weren't. Go back to bed.
Yeah, there's no such thing, dude.
You're never going to hear that show. It's not on the stream right now.
Not a thing.
Dave and Adam are not going to talk about golumki either. So the quality of the show is going to be right on downhill.
What's the point of having a talk show where you don't talk about food?
I know. Especially very, very specific foods from very, very specific countries that nobody can remember what it's called or how they are spelled.
Eggplant caviar.
Now I kind of do want some pierogi. Although some stuffed, do you like stuffed peppers as well? That's got to be another big thing out in the.
I do.
Those are delightful when done right.
Very
I
good.
mean, the problem with buying them, we bought them from Costco recently because it was like the first time we went to Costco in a long time. They're the only ones that do them fairly well. Most everybody else now, these stuffed peppers are like 95% rice, and it's like, screw that.
Yeah.
You got to have about half meat.
It's a half and half. It should be half and half. Yeah. And the rice makes it all stick together.
I want more meat.
Because it's basically, it's essentially a rice meatball inside of a pepper.
Yes, exactly. It should be able to live without the pepper. Then you just throw a little cheese on top to make it look good.
Sour cream.
Oh, that would be nice too. Although you really do you want to bake it with the sour cream on it? Because
no.
Yeah, afterwards.
You put the sour cream on your plate when you have it. Yeah.
You like potato pancakes too? Those things are addictive. Very simple.
They're very simple. The latkes. I like potato pancakes, but it's been years since I've had them. And one of the problems with them is they're a lot more sensitive, I think, to the temperature than regular pancakes made with, just regular flour. Like, it's really easy to burn potato pancakes.
Oh, yeah. You got to know what you're doing. Come on out to Chicago.
It's harder. You scared me off Chicago by telling me that I can't be walking around in the area that I used to stay in all the time.
Well, if you bring your white tracksuit with the matching white pistols, you're good. People will be like, I'm not getting anywhere. To me, it kind of reminds me of the Steve Martin bit, which is if you're walking down the street and you think you're about to be mugged.
Yeah, act like a crazy person.
Urinate yourself, right? And start just screaming random things. Like nobody wants any part of that.
No, that's true.
We give you good advice here on Unrelenting.
Yeah, just not medical advice.
don't care what Ryan Bemrose says. This was a quality show.